Hello and welcome to the first review of the channel. This is a new venture, so we'll see how this goes. But today, first thing we're going to be looking at is the Devi Ever Rocket Fuzz. This one is one I've been looking for a while now, and I've recently found it sitting on eBay for about, I think I managed to get it for 80 quid, which is a bargain considering that when these first came out, they were £200 new, and obviously they were imported from the States as well. Let me just give you a bit of a background. Hit the pedal. So Devi Ever, she started making fuzzes back in the mid-2000s under the name Effector 13. And then she moved into her own name, Devi Ever, started producing fuzzes under that. She's quit the business a few times for various different reasons, and she's run into a few controversies along her way. Not all of them are her fault. In fact, the vast majority of them were inflicted rather than bought on, if that makes any sense. But the Rocket Fuzz was one of the fruits of one of the controversies. The Rocket Fuzz was developed with Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, and towards the end of the development, when Billy was not, I think, basically paying for his time, he then decided to lash out, and that was the end of that. But then the Rocket Fuzz was then released without the backing of Billy. Basically, we had this beautiful it's two fuzzes in one. With a chaos mode and a trem switch. Just in general, I mean, the controls are fairly simple. You have two fuzzes, one on each side. This is the one which is independently switchable. The early iterations were on and then a second on switch, so you could bypass it and then bring the second fuzz in, but you couldn't switch them independently. This one is independent. So on one side you've got a sodomizer fuzz, which is essentially a big muff that has had a breakdown and gone into rehab and hasn't really quite got how it works. So it's very simple. It's two knobs, it's a volume and it's a texture. So you basically change the texture of the fuzz and obviously the volume. The two controls interact really nicely with each other, so affecting one will affect the nature of the other, which I really like. And the same with the vintage Fuzzmaster on the other side, which is more of sort of like an octave fuzz, like a Shiné or sort of a leads fuzz type thing. That kind of, I don't know, that Who solo sound. So we got that high end shrill octave up behind it. Again, same thing, volume, texture. And yeah, the two switches. So you've got the trem switch and the chaos switch. The chaos switch changes the nature of the trem, The one thing I have found with the trem switch and the chaos switch is they introduce a lot of clock noise, which you'll see in this clip here. So you'll hear there's a lot of clock noise in there, which does make it slightly unusable, although I imagine I'm using it slightly wrong. I imagine if you run it into, say, a delay or a modulation pedal, you get a lot more out of it. In terms of usability, who's going to be using this? Who's going to be using a Devi Ever Fuzz that does things like this? Or things like this. So it's not going to be a fan of, say, Bombay Bicycle Club who's going to buy one of these. It's going to be someone who wants that kind of wall of noise, wall of sound type thing. It's when you find a sound in this, you'll sit on it for about a week and a half and you'll just riff and you'll riff and you'll riff and you'll drone and you'll riff. I think it also helps, depending on what kind of amp you use, is also going to play a massive factor. Same with cabinets. Fuzzes are obviously very sensitive to the rig that you have, and I think that plays a part in how you approach, how you select a fuzz. In terms of who would buy this, as I say, Smashing Pumpkins fans, obviously. Anyone who wants that really thick, carpety fuzz with that kind of occasional kind of like thrust and poke of an octave. Which they are out there, those people, they're insane, but they want it. This would go great if you had a rig, essentially like a Doomer's rig, So something very bassy, something with lots of power that you could really throw the wall of sound into the audience. At home use, it's limited. You do find things for it, and I think I'm still exploring it. As I say, I've only recently got this. I've got quite a large pedal collection in the cupboard, and also my boards over here, all of which you'll see as I sort of build more, sort of make more content and actually learn how this whole YouTube thing works. But yeah, I've also got an Anima fuzz, which is what I remember there was a forum on, I think, Free Stomp Boxes said it was one of her more usable boxes. So I've got that, and that is a gorgeous pedal. I may put up a clip of me. I've got some Instagram videos, so they may go up on the Instagram page. Oh yeah, follow me on Instagram, @SurelyTheEnd. I've also got a Twitter page, @SurelyTheEnd. But yeah, in terms of this fuzz, it's fun. If you can pick a Devi Ever fuzz up, go and do it. You won't regret it, because you'll plug it in and you'll be like, well, why, what am I doing with this? And then you'll actually spend some time with it, and you'll start eking out sounds, and then you'll start matching it with other things, and you'll start eking out more sounds. And what once seemed like an unusable tool will become pretty much one of those things when someone goes, I just need that thing. You'd be like, I got the thing. The thing is here, and it's in here. In terms of the actual kind of background, I mean, Devi Ever now, I think she's quit the business for what I can understand is for the final time. As of the recording of this video, I think what she's doing is she's essentially franchising the name. So currently there is a company in Belgium who are they're building pedals in her name. How that will go, I don't know, but we'll see. I'm interested to see if it carries on a name, if it makes her a bit more money, that kind of thing, because I understand that she's basically bankrupt, which isn't great. And I think it points to a wider trend in the pedal business. So one of the other controversies that she kind of took on was the Astro mess, which was, again, it was found, you can go and Google this all up, but basically it was alleged that the Astro mess was pretty much an exact clone of the Hyperion fuzz. That caused her essentially to lose a lot of access to dealers because of the arguing, for whatever reason happened there, but she essentially dropped off a lot of distributors' lists, which I think was another hit to the business. So, I mean, her existence as a pedal builder, she's gone from kind of one controversy to another, or one issue to another, and I don't think Devi Ever's had a smooth ride. And I think that kind of comes out in the pedals. Not in that they're bad quality, these are amazing quality. The two I've got have never let me down. I do chuck them around, I unplug them, I sort of move them around and stuff like that. But I think the tones are always, they are confusing, yet somewhere in there is something that makes sense. So I think once you can literally get past the noise, then these are actually a really good option in terms of fuzzes. But they are quite rare on the used market. You can get them cheap, but they don't pop up. When I say cheap, I don't mean like 20, 30 quid. I mean from when they used to retail, you can get them for around the 50-60% mark of what their MSRP was. So yeah, if you can find one, grab one. Myself, I'm looking for a shoegazer. So at some point I would like to get a shoegazer and run the two together, or, you know, sort of head to head and see what they sound like. But yeah, the Devi Ever Rocket Fuzz. It's a weird pedal. It's a beautiful pedal. It's a soulful pedal. It's a noisy pedal, but it's also noiseless. The noise floorness is really low. Like the second you stop, it just cuts. It's great. But I think the storied nature of Devi Ever Fuzzes really comes through. You know, sort of the weird, eclectic nature of them always seems to shine through. And I kind of like that. They are different. If you're looking for something different or new, or you've run out of, like, you know, ideas in terms of what fuzz can do or what it can be or what it's doing for you, check out Devi Ever. So yeah, about this channel. So I will be trying new things. This is a new venture. Just basically, I've accumulated a lot of crap and I'd like to share it with the world. I've been playing guitar since I was about 13, 14, started on bass actually, and then I sort of picked up guitar around 16, 17. I've accumulated a lot of crap. So I figured it's got to the point now where I think the world should kind of see my problem. There's a lot of knowledge that I've kind of built up in terms of like pedals and stuff like that, which I think would like to share with the world and have a conversation with it. There's lots of, you know, guitar YouTube is quite a large community. I'd like to start participating in it. I'll be periodically doing more pedal demos. I've got my guitars here, so I'll be going through some of those, maybe picking up new gear. Also be looking at my amps as well. But yeah, by and large, basically what this is it's you looking at what I've got, what I've collected over the years and going, Christ, he's got a problem. Other than that, I guess I'll see you for the next video. I don't know when this will go out. It will go out at some point. Next up, I don't know. I'm going to rifle through my cupboard and see what's there. But yeah, so tune in next time and we'll see what other things I have for you. I have no real plan. So if I look like a lost deer stuck in a hotel lobby, then that's probably why. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.